welcome everybody to my rundown video of the Adepticon finals match between myself and Anthony Berrigan. In this video I'm going to go over all of the match and every move that was made to give an in-depth analysis of everything that happened. This might be a little bit of a longer video than what I normally make, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you have any comments or anything that you want to leave down below, let me know so that way I can know how to make better videos in the future, or if there is any mistakes made during the game, we can all learn from them. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the teams here. I'll go over the teams a little bit in depth and then we will go over the match itself. So I made a video last week about my team. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It gives a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on how it works. But essentially my team was as follows: Death Metal Wonder Woman with Soul Sword, Kong, Garnet Silver Surfer equipped with the Red Symbiote, Genesis and Apoc with Sword Bearer, choosing Soul Swords most of the time, White and Black Shirt Scott Porters, White Shirt having the Sinestro Core Ring, Black Shirt having the Warlock Sword. On my sideline I used Absorbing Man, Scrappy Doo, Chthon, War Machine, Search for Amut's Tomb, and the Murder in the City Enduring card. And my maps were Wakanda, Morlock Tunnels, and the Daily Bugle Press Room. For terrain I used the Shelf, and 2 machines. And then for tarot, I used the Magician, 8 of Cups, Ace of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. For Anthony's team, he was playing a mystical theme with Ghost Rider, Kong, Blackheart, Iron Inquisitor, Mephisto, Scott Porter, and Scott Porter. So his only equipment was the yellow ring on Scott Porter. For his sideline, he elected to go mostly Masters of Evil, so he used Killmonger, Dark Phoenix, and Ghost Goblin, with Chthon on Ghost Rider, Scrappy Doo for Scott Porter, and then only a single pilot, being Blade, which gives him Precision Strike and Battle Fury. This will come into play later and be important for the match. His maps, he used Wakanda, Doctor Strange's Mansion, and Morlock Tunnels. Objects were Steel Mesh Fencing, Anchor, and Scaffolding, and then his tarot deck was the Star, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, Page of Cups, and the 2 of Wands. Going into this matchup, I think it was pretty cut and clear once I won initiative role and got to choose map. I'll kind of explain that here in a second, but essentially because I got to play on Morlock Tunnels, it forced him to have to come in close for everything, and it really just wasn't a great option for him. Once he had to come in close, because his only pilot was Blade, he had no rollouts on Ghost Rider, meaning that it allowed me to kind of take him out easily and pick him apart from there. So now that we've seen the teams, let's go ahead and get into the actual match itself. Okay, I want to go over a few important items as to what was going through my head at the time, as well as some of the choices that I made. So when we rolled for initiative, I won initiative roll, and I asked to look at Anthony's build sheet. A few things I noticed right away is that he only had 1 pilot for Ghost Rider, which was Blade. The other thing is his tarot. He was playing 9 of Swords, which meant that there was going to be a turn in which he was going to be able to get through my rollouts no matter what I did. Because of this, I elected to go straight to Morlock Tunnels to force him to play the close combat game against me, as I felt that was the best chance I had at winning this match. For opening setup, these are our positions. His Black Shirt Porter elected to take the wild card team ability or team player, and mine took Wonder Woman ally. On his turn 1, Anthony flipped the Page of Cups, which is regen is free. This is basically a burner card for him on this turn, as it doesn't do anything since everybody's still full health. His beginning of turn, he goes ahead and puts the Blackheart Fire terrain in C20, and then he has both Scott Porters and Ghost Rider wildcard the shield team ability from Inquisitor. To start his costed actions, he has Kong move to C18, 19, D18, 19 carrying Mephisto. Then he has Blackheart place in the fire marker, taking along Ghost Rider and Inquisitor. Blackheart does a costed destroy action on the wall, and then he has Inquisitor move into that square. From here, he has White Shirt Porter sidestep to C21, and Black Shirt Porter sidestep to D22, and then he triple perplexes up Kong's defense, and then passes turn over to me. On my first turn, I get Queen of Wands for the tarot, which is single D6 plus 1. This is potentially a really useful card for me if he decides to come in, as I could potentially have better rolls on my shape change and super senses and even my blades rollouts. My Absorbing Man markers move up, and then White Shirt Porter copies the Wonder Woman allied team ability. Apoc takes a close destroy action on the wall in front of him, which sets my Amut's Tomb to 1. Then Wonder Woman does another close destroy action on the wall in front of her. This sets Amut's Tomb to 2. From there, Kong does a charge, picking up this elevated terrain marker, and quakes. This sets Amut's Tomb to 3. Full disclosure, I set this elevated marker off to the side of myself during the game, and I know I picked up a terrain later in the match. That was my mistake. We'll get over that here in a little bit. From there, we create the Twisted Metal terrain from Kong's Quake to give us a little bit of a better defense on the bottom side of the map, like so. Some of the major changes I would have made to the way that Anthony played the matchup Due to the nature of my team and how low my Alpha Strike is, I definitely would have advised that he advanced farther with Blackheart on turn 1 and the rest of his team. Because of the fact that he has the ability to Quake with Kong, he could have made his own debris or at least set up his fire marker 5 squares out. If he was here, I don't have the ability to alpha him from my current square without risking a whole lot for the game. And now, on his next turn, if he would have placed his fire marker 8 away, like so, he could have placed his Blackheart here, his Kong here, and his Rider here. Now with a couple perplexes into speed, he has the ability to come in and hit me if he elects to do so. Even if it means doing something like this, where he comes down this way. I think this would have been a much more effective way for him to Alpha Strike, and would have liked to see that happen. Back to the match. Black Shirt goes ahead and sidesteps into J3. White Shirt sidesteps next to Genesis, and then Genesis moves to here, carrying Apocalypse, Surfer, Wonder Woman, and White Shirt Porter, like so. This gives me a little bit of a better defensive position. Everybody's right next to each other. They're all getting the bonuses. And then from here, I perplex up Kong's defense by 2. On Anthony's turn 2, he flips the 9 of Swords. This is really bad for me. Attacks cannot be evaded, and essentially I'm going to be in a position where he's going to be able to hit whoever he wants, and I won't be able to roll out of this attack. He rolls Willpower with Kong and succeeds, and then Leadership with Ghost Rider and fails. The fire marker fizzles, and then he makes a new one 8 squares away from himself in E12. Inquisitor perplexes Kong's attack, Scott perplexes Ghost Rider's speed, and Scott perplexes Ghost Rider's attack. This right here I think is the first mistake Anthony made on this game. Perplexing Kong's attack when he's not going to be able to make an attack is a bit of a blunder in my opinion. If you look at the team ups here, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. So his Kong will not be able to make a close action no matter what he does. From there, he elects to come in with his Blackheart, placing in his fire marker. He gets the +3 range because of his shield TAs from Inquisitor, Scott Porter, and Ghost Rider. He places Kong adjacent, and he places Ghost Rider adjacent. Then, Kong moves, placing Blackheart to set up a probability control for his team. I would have very much rather seen him perplex up Kong's defense here and stay in Iron Inquisitor than try and get cute with an attack value bump that doesn't do anything. From there, he comes over in hypersonic speeds with his Ghost Rider, punching my Surfer. At this point, he's a 14 on an 18, so he essentially just needs to not crit miss in order to hit me. He succeeds on the attack, and I elect to revive my Carnage Silver Surfer with Wonder Woman to keep him alive. I rolled a 5 on the revive, so I got to heal 3 clicks, and then he goes ahead and finishes his hypersonic right here, tokening his Ghost Rider. From there, he changes out his Iron Inquisitor over to King Killmonger, removing the token from Ghost Rider and healing him the click of damage that he would have taken from Chthon, and then sidesteps his Killmonger, sidesteps his Scott, and sidesteps his Scott. For his last remaining actions of the turn, he elects to move his Mephisto over to here, and then creates a stop sign with Scott Porter and uses barrier with the stop sign to protect the back figures on his team. Blackheart at this point clears, and it's my turn. I pull the Magician for my tarot card. This is super important, as the Magician is going to give everybody unavoidable Mystics damage when they have Mystics showing on dial. This includes his Ghost Rider and his Blackheart, so I have to be very careful about what I do here. Kong rolls for his willpower and fails. Apoc rolls for his willpower and succeeds. Genesis fails her willpower. Wonder Woman fails her leadership. Genesis succeeds at leadership and removes the token from Kong. And then I heal Carnage Silver Surfer 1 click. At this point, he should be healed up back to click 5, which is his second special hypersonic senses RCE click. My Absorbing Man markers all move in, threatening to create Absorbing Man next turn, and then I get into my action phase. Blackshirt Porter sidesteps over to J1, and I double perplex down Ghost Rider's defense. He's currently a +2 from Chthon and from his Blackshirt Porter, so I bring him down to an 18. Then, I have Carnage Silver Surfer use Hypersonic Speed to right here, dual targeting his Blackheart and his Ghost Rider. This attack hits, and I deal 4 penetrating damage to his Blackheart, KOing him instantly. I elected to do this so that Carnage Silver Surfer could get an additional heal. It also prevents him from getting special positioning later in the game. Then I finalize my Hypersonic Speed here, get my action token, heal 1 from the Steel Energy to 4, and then heal 1 from the KO to 3. There is currently 1 unavoidable Mystics damage loaded on the stack, which will resolve after all the After Resolutions triggers of mine have finished. Then Carnage Silver Surfer gets to make a second range attack because of his special hypersonic speed power, so he targets Ghost Rider and Kong. At this point, I'm a 13 attack on the 18 and 20 defenses, and I hit the attack, so I deal all 4 damage to Ghost Rider, putting him to click 3. After that, the After Resolutions effects trigger, and I take my unavoidable damage and go back to click 5, which is where I started the turn. From here, Genesis elects to charge Flurry on Ghost Rider. She hits the attack, and because my minimum Blades roll is 4, I deal 4 damage to Ghost Rider, so he takes 3 and goes to click 6. And then I hit the second attack, once again dealing minimum 4 and KOing his Ghost Rider. He elects to not bring out Chthon and drops Blade right here, and I take 2 unavoidable from Mystics, going to click 3. At this point, I know I have more characters than him on the board, so what I need to do is be careful to not allow his Kong to come in and quake everybody on my team. I can't stop him from quaking almost everybody, but I can prevent him from at least attacking every single character. When Blade comes out, he elects to remove his token from Kong, and then White Shirt Porter generates his own stop sign right in front of him in H2, and utilizes Barrier to hole in his Blade. At this point, I could choose to move Kong into a specific location to prevent his Kong from breaking away. For example, I could just move adjacent and risk the breakaway roll, or just risk him punching me twice. Or I could try and move right here, placing the blocking here, like so, to make it harder for him to hit me. But at the end of the day, I wanted to be safe, and so I elected to quake in place, placing new blocking here, and destroying the existing one here. I'm not sure if this was the right call or not, but for the time being, this felt like the best choice I had. On his turn 3, he goes ahead and flips the 10 of Pentacles, which is the Hypersonic card. This is effectively another burner for him, because he only has Hypersonic on Dark Phoenix and on Ghost Rider. His barrier comes down, and then he rolls for Willpower on Mephisto and fails, and then moves Mephisto over here to line up a prob for his Kong. His Kong takes a move action, picking up my terrain, and then takes a second action to quake. At this point, he has line of fire to my entire team, but he's only within 3 of everybody except for Carnage Silver Surfer and Black Shirt Porter. He rolls the quake attack and hits. I prob with White Shirt Porter, and he hits again. And then I proceed to use my rollouts. I roll Senses with Genesis and fail. Roll the Blades roll with Genesis, fail again. Re-roll it with Black Shirt Porter and fail again. So Genesis is KO'd. The stop sign is KO'd. Porter goes to click 4. Wonder Woman rolls for her senses and fails, and then rolls for her Blades roll and fails, and is KO'd. Apocalypse goes to click 3 and is knocked back 3 squares. Kong misses his Impervious and goes to click 2. Because my Magician card is up, my Mystics deals unavoidable damage. It was brought to my attention later that Mystics does not pair with the double damage from the Soul Sword. This was something that we missed, and also the WizKids judges that were present missed. So all's fair in love and war, I suppose. It was an honest mistake. But during the game, because of Apoc's 2 damage from his Soul Sword, we said that Kong took 4 unavoidable damage and was instantly KO'd. He should have been on his last click, and I apologize for that, but at the end of the day, I don't think Kong would have survived the turn, even if he was on his last click, just due to the sheer number of attacks and rerolls that I have on him. Before Kong is removed from the map, he does generate a banana pile. And once he's KO'd, the twisted metal that he was holding would drop. Due to the rule of occupancy, I elected to place it in those squares there, because I was the opponent at the time. His Scott sidesteps to C17, Blackshirt comes up to D18, and Killmonger comes up to D17. His stop sign clears and he elects not to barrier again. On my turn, I roll the 8 of Cups, which is Willpower +1. Absorbing Man comes out, and then he removes a token from his Mephisto. Carnage Silver Surfer succeeds on his Willpower, and then my barrier comes down. Black Shirt Porter heals Apocalypse 1 click to click 2 because I see him as a win condition for this match. And then my White Shirt Porter double perplexes down Blade's defense because I'm on click 4 and have the Sinestro Core ring. Black Shirt Porter perplexes up Kong's attack. These squares should have been destroyed from when his other Kong used his Quake. And then Kong charges to here, picking up the wreckage, which again, I forgot that I was holding this, but at the end of the day, I don't think it made much of a difference. Picking up the wreckage and punching his Mephisto. I hit the attack, he misses the senses roll, uses a re-roll on it and misses again, and his Mephisto is KO'd for the first time this game. From there, I hypersonic speed with Carnage Silver Surfer, make the attack on Blade, and hit, which KOs the Blade. Once Blade is removed from the map, I finish my hypersonic speed in L2, give a token, and heal 2 clicks, 1 for the KO and 1 for the Steel Energy, back to click 3. Scott Porter's sidesteps here, and Black Shirt's Porter sidesteps to there. My Absorbing Man moves here, next to Kong, and then I have Black Shirt Porter roll for a support on White Shirt Porter. He rolls a 4, so since Porter's on his stop click, he heals 1 click and goes to click 3. I generate a Catcher's Mitt here to give myself ESD on these 2. On Anthony's 4th turn, he flips the star, which is probably one of the largest blunders I've made in HeroClix in a long time, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. He sidesteps with white shirt to A15, sidesteps with black shirt to B16. He's still copied the shield TA, so he double perplexes up Scott Porter's speed and TKs him to right here. Killmonger sidesteps, and then he swaps over to Dark Phoenix and generates another Mephisto. From there, he elects to move with Dark Phoenix over to C8, carry Mephisto, which allows his Scott Porter to move up to 5 squares. He moves to right here and rolls for a Pulse Wave, single targeting Absorbing Man. My Absorbing Man chooses Invincible, and he hits for 0 damage. His stop sign is KO'd now that he's 7 squares away. On my turn 4, I flip the Ace of Swords, which is the 2d6 on Blades rolls. Not very useful at this point in the game. Kong rolls Willpower and fails. Absorbing Man rolls Willpower and succeeds. Surfer rolls Willpower and fails, and at the end of my last turn, I actually gave him a second token, forgetting on whether or not I had succeeded on Willpower that turn. That was my fault. APOC rolls for Leadership and fails, and then Black Shirt Porter heals Scott 1 click to put him back on probability control for the turn. White Shirt Porter perplexes up Kong's attack, and he charges to here and quakes, picking up the banana pile. When he quakes, he destroys all of these walls and attacks all 3 of Anthony's characters. This attack will set my Amut's Tomb to 6. I had neglected to move it up on some of the other destructions that I had made. I hit the attack, and this is how the attack sequence went. I hit the first, Mephisto probs. I roll a 1 and a 4. Thinking that I missed the attack, I prob again. Because the star is up, I actually hit. That was a 10. Then I rolled double 1s, which is a critical hit, at which point I prob again with Absorbing Man. And then I roll a 1 and a 3 and re-roll with my Black Shirt Porter. So I burned all 3 probs on 3 hits. This is definitely a low point in my HeroClix competitive career. And then finally I rolled a 5 and a 1 with my 14 attack, did hit everybody on his team. He misses the super senses on Dark Phoenix and gets knocked back to here and goes to her effective click 5. His Mephisto rolled the 1 on senses, which was a success, which is when I realized that I had made a mistake with my probs. His Scott Porter got hit for 3 pen, knocked back into the wall, and produces a Scrappy Doo. The attack did penetrating damage because of the fact that there was a flyer. There is a mistake that was made later that I need to clear up, and I will explain it when that happens. After the resolutions of the Quake, Kong generates another banana pile. From here, my White Shirt Porter is TK'd by my Black Shirt Porter to here, and then I sidestep next to Kong. My Absorbing Man moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. He doesn't have to stop when moving next to Scrappy because he's a smaller character, and breaks this up. And then my Scott Porter Pulse Waves. Because I'm on 6 with Amut's Tomb, when this Pulse Wave hits, and Mephisto and Scrappy are both adjacent to debris, they'll take 2 damage from the Pulse Wave, and then knock back into the wall. The attack hits, Mephisto is KO'd yet again, and Scrappy goes to click 4. This is all 4 actions for my turn, so then Black Shirt Porter perplexes up Kong's defense, and I pass turn. On Anthony's turn 5, he gets the 2 of Wands, which is all hit characters have Battle Fury. He rolls Dark Phoenix's Willpower and fails. He heals Scrappy back up to click 3, which puts him back on charge with his Black Shirt Porter. And then he hypersonic speeds with Dark Phoenix to here, punching my White Shirt Porter. He hits the attack and I miss the Super Senses roll and go to click 4. This is the second time in the game that I should have been able to make myself a War Machine. The first time with the Kong Quake and the second time here. I just forgot. I'm not used to playing that figure, so that is my fault. He then swaps back into King Killmonger, generates a Mephisto, and poisons my Scott to death. My ring drops in the square, and then Scrappy Doo comes out. My Catcher's Mitt is also KO'd because Scott is no longer on the map. He then has a Scrappy Doo charge breakaway from Absorbing Man and succeeds. He can't make it to my Scrappy, so he decides to punch my Kong, 11 on a 19, 11 on a 20 rather, because Kong is next to Scrappy Doo, and he misses the attack. He then has Mephisto go ahead and punch my Scrappy Doo, and hits the attack, putting my Scrappy to click 2, because he has the monster keyword. This attack on my Scrappy also gives Scrappy Battle Fury, which matters for the last turn. On my turn 5, I flip my final tarot card, which is the 5 of Pentacles, charge +2. Kong rolls Willpower and succeeds. At this point, Kong should also be on click 1 because he healed previously. Absorbing Man rolls Willpower and fails. Apocalypse rolls Leadership and succeeds, removing the token from Black Shirt Porter. Absorbing Man chooses Probability Control. I heal APOC 1 to click 1, and then I sidestep Porter to J3. Porter perplexes up Kong's attack, and Kong charges, picking up the banana pile, triple targeting Mephisto, Killmonger, and Scrappy. During the match, I say that this attack does penetrating damage, and it doesn't because there's no flyers, colossals, and I'm not on elevated terrain. This was another mistake that I made. I'm going to chalk this one up to just tired brain. I hit the attack, he misses the super senses, So I deal 5 damage to Killmonger, plus the 6 from the debris marker that he is in, and he's KO'd. Thinking back on it, Killmonger would have been on click 4, so I think that damage would have still KO'd him, but it wasn't penetrating like we had said. Mephisto takes 2, 1 from the attack, and then 1 from the debris. If I would have made the attack from right here, it would have KO'd Mephisto outright. So that was a misplay on my part. I had no reason not to move, I just elected not to do so. And then finally Scrappy took 1 and went to his last click. Apoc came over here with a phasing, crit hit Scrappy, and KO'd him. And then I had Carnage Silver Surfer do a hypersonic speed on his Mephisto. He hits Shape Change. And then finally I have Scrappy do a flurry on Mephisto. I hit the attack, and he misses his super senses. And that's game. Technically, this wasn't a direct mercy rule. I think I was 10 points behind, but Blackshirt Porter cannot do anything at this point in the game, so the game was effectively over and he conceded. All in all, I felt like this was a fairly clean game from myself. There were a few minor mistakes that I made, and practice will help me eliminate those mistakes in the future. I hope you enjoyed watching this rundown of this match, frame by frame, and if you have any questions for how anything played out, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to let me know, so that I can get recordings of my games and point them out for players to enjoy. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.